Hello and thanks for checking out ChartGuys.com. We're proud to be one of the most successful technical analysis communities online, teaching you the skills to become a more confident, effective, and informed trader. Join our community of hundreds of analysts worldwide working together to learn the charts, generate profit, and achieve financial independence. For access to daily live chart analysis and market coverage, a thriving chat community, along with dozens of hours of exclusive educational materials. We look forward to seeing you. Let's check out some charts. Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. We're going to look at CGC, ACB, APHA, CRON, TLRY, IIPR, TRST, and TGOD. Going to start on the shorter term time frame for CGC. Made a trade first thing this morning. First red trade in CGC in a while, so I'll go over that. Kept the loss small, but it was honestly an observation of correlation with the S&P 500 SPY that allowed me to exit that trade quickly and prevent it from being any kind of significant loss. So we had the open with the low of the day, the high of the day, a new low of the day. At this point, I'm not doing anything. I'm waiting for the range to tighten up. We hit a double top at the high of the day and started consolidating. So at that point, I said to myself, if we form a little higher low and break that double top, I'm going to get in and I'm going to be looking for a short-term flip. I was looking for the SPY bulls today to break the daily lower high pattern. Again, watch those SPY videos. 5 days in a row, we've seen a lower high on the daily. So SPY was showing me things on the hourly time frame that had me confident that that pattern was going to break today, favoring the bulls. And that ended up happening on SPY, but the Canadian MJ names did not follow along aside from CRON, who has been our lead bull clearly the last few days. CGC did not follow along. So what I did is I entered with a market order, my normal standard day trade position on CGC on this bull break of these 35.90s resistances. I exited half of my position for a 20-cent gain. Had I stuck to my game plan that I normally do, lock in the day maker with the full position, 20 cents, that would have been great. And in hindsight, that should have been what I did. But I took half my profit and then I exited the second half of the position when we lost 35.53. And as soon as that bear break occurred, we saw stops trigger. The 5-minute little uptrend was lost and we went right back to the low of the day. And it was very clear on this candlestick at about 10:15 a.m., 10:12 to be exact, that SPY and CGC were breaking correlation. Correlations come and go. They are always changing. We look for clues that the correlations favor the bulls or the bears. The correlation was right on point to start the day. And then as soon as we dropped to this lower low, SPY was nowhere near hitting the low of the day. And let's just look real quick where this is the amount of consolidation that we saw on CGC this morning first thing. So we ended up fading back, losing that little higher low, and coming right back to the low of the day, which did end up holding, and there was a nice little small bounce from there. But as soon as we got down here, and it was clear, SPY was nowhere near its low of the day at that point. And so it was showing us that the correlation favored the bears, and we could see across the board, aside from CRON, everybody formed a daily lower high out of the major 5 names that we were watching. So let's start it off with CGC as the sector leader. The daily time frame is now just an inside bar. As soon as the bulls were unable to break resistance, that's TGOD, there we go. So as soon as the bulls were unable to break resistance, we formed another daily inside bar, the second one in a row. Declining volume, tightening range, and we're going to get a very clear break and a clear signal on Monday. A break of 34.58 will be bearish. A break of 36.24 will be bullish. If those breaks occur during extended hours and we see a gap up or a gap down open, the signal has less validity to me. I'm not going to act as confidently as I would if it would break in the middle of the trading day after the bell rings. So inside bar, again, in the video yesterday, we said to get follow through for the daily higher lows to be established for these bulls, we have to break the high of yesterday, first thing today, give the bulls confidence, induce further buying, and see follow through. And that's obviously what we did not get because of the inability to break resistances. And you look at CRON on the daily time frame, and we did break first thing the higher high, and it's almost like the bulls were running ahead, ready to go, and they look back over their shoulder, come on guys, and nobody's coming with them. They're all alone. So ended up being a fake out. You look at CRON and say, oh, that's a terrible fake out. But if you're watching the sector leaders like CGC and everybody else, it's very clear that we're unlikely to get much follow through because the sector is not coming along. There's no bull signal, and it's a big difference than if you are having an individual name break on its own or an individual name breaking with everybody else in the sector going in the same direction. So daily time frame right now, this is a disappointing day for the bulls. And I'm going to just call it like it is because I would love for the bulls to show up. I make more money in Canadian MJ when the bulls are around. There's no doubt about that. But these bulls are not proving anything to me right now. We wanted to form that daily higher low up here to give us some room for an equilibrium. Earnings took us right down to the support level, and here we are struggling to even bounce off that support level with any follow through. If the bulls had strength here in this equilibrium, we'd be looking up to about $42 before setting another daily lower high. And again, it's still possible to get up there, but the bulls could have ended the week with a little bit of momentum, and instead we're just in tightening ranges and waiting to see. With the bear break, we're headed right back down to support, and with the bull break, we'll be looking for that follow through to hopefully get a bit of momentum. A lot of the SPY bullish action in the past few days is just Trump talking about a deal with China, so that the algos in the S&P 500 react to those tweets and that news, and they rocket up. SPY saw a significant 20-minute huge bull move in response to a tweet today about China wanting to make a trade deal. And the Canadian MJ sector was not correlated. Those bots are not linked up. So when they're buying in the S&P 500, we're not seeing it trickle over significantly in Canadian MJ. It's there. We see a little bit of follow through for the bulls, but nowhere near as much strength as in the market itself. So all about the inside bar on Monday. ACB, same thing. Couldn't break the high of yesterday. Couldn't get 2 green days in a row. Couldn't get follow through. Break of 827 is bearish on Monday. Break of 877 has us looking at 893. Very simple analysis. We do have the higher low on the daily time frame to be watching, but we have to see follow through, and this right now is not convincing follow through for these bulls. They need to break and see continuation. Very low volume day, just sideways tightening ranges. APHA, same thing, even weaker, closing at the low of the day. We've seen this consistently. It's very clear that Cron is the lead out of these 5, and APHA is the lead bear. And it's been that way for at least 3 or 4 days that has been the clear pattern, and it does continue at this point. So in hindsight, I should have been playing Cron today. It's just that CGC has been my very comfortable name for so long that it's almost like I default to looking to that name. But that's a reminder to myself as well. Don't forget about Cron when we're looking bullish, and don't forget about APHA if we're looking bearish, because again, lack of support. 1237 broke. 1226 is the next level. Resistance is 1349 and 1375. Much closer to a bear break than a bull break, but if the bulls were to show up and break their insides bar bullish, APHA would likely be able to hold on to start next week. Cron on the daily. So we got the follow through, but nobody else in the sector joined the party. So we have our higher low on the daily time frame established, and we're looking for a lower high to form. That may be it right now. If these Canadian MJ names were going to roll over, and if CGC breaks the inside bars bearish and we test these supports early next week, we're going to look for Cron to pull back, and that is going to be our lower high of 908, but we don't have enough information yet to call that our lower high. So if we pull back, we'll need to see the bulls maintain support of 752. That's the most important short-term level. And if we lose that level, big red flag that we're going to head back down and test the October lows. TLRY, unable to break the high of yesterday. Inside bar, very tight range. 108.32 is support. 112.90 and 113.85 are 2 resistance levels to be watching. And it's the same thing. We're looking for that daily higher low, but we don't have follow through for the bulls to have any confidence from that higher low at this point. So still up in the air as to who's going to be in control. If the bulls had followed through and saw a strong close, we'd be looking to start the week off bullish next week. That's not the case. It's a very indecisive end of the week here. IIPR, new all-time high. Beautiful follow through for the bulls. Daily inside bar at 47.94 broke bullish, and we saw big time follow through from that move, over 5%. Big day for IIPR, and one of the only blue sky MJ names that are out there right now. Weekly time frame increasing bull volume, and just a higher low being established before continuation. Bulls are on fire in IIPR. Support on the hourly time frame, looking down at 50 psychological, and then the next clear level is 47.08. TRST had the huge day yesterday on big bull volume. We closed at the high of the day, looking for more, and as soon as you do not break that high of the previous day on a strong run up, that's the signal to take profit for a lot of people. And that's, of course, what happened here. Resistance was 946. We got up to 936, and the bears controlled the vast majority of the day. So no follow through, 1 green day, and at this point, we're looking at a lower high, lower low pattern. Anything under 1047 is just a lower high on this move, and we already broke 810 support. We broke the low of October. It's one of the only Canadian MJ names that has done that yet. So still a downtrend, and in terms of support on the hourly, 816 and then a lack of support nearby. So the bulls really want to hold that 816 level. Resistance is going to be 868 and then 946. And wrapping it up with T-God. So T-God, same thing. Tried to form the higher low on the daily. and the inside bar formed, closed near the low of the day, couldn't break the high of yesterday, 371. We rejected by 2 pennies, and the bears controlled the day after that. So on the hourly time frame, in terms of support, there's nothing nearby. It's hard for these bulls to be confident heading into next week. The bears have the upper hand. This could be a bear flag to just drop down to a lower low. Again, it depends on what CGC does with its daily inside bars. The SPY bulls, like I said, have been helped a lot from these tweets about this Chinese deal potential. I almost feel like SPY would have rolled over due to tech sector weakness and dropped down to lower lows at the end of this week if these tweets did not come out. Multiple times we saw a bull move. We just faded all day slowly, bears in control, and then a tweet comes out and saves the day, essentially. So it's something to be aware of, that the market is still not showing me a whole lot of confidence for the bulls. They did close strong and in control for the S&P 500, but if we were to start this coming week with any kind of weakness, we would have to be cautious because we're much closer to breaking key support on these names than we are to breaking key resistance. So the bears do have the upper hand at this point, and we will have to take it one day at a time, but we have some nice tight inside bars to be watching on Monday. I hope you all have a good weekend, and I will do my best to put out some more MJ videos perhaps Sunday. Traveling tomorrow, so I will look for a US MJ video. I'll probably do US and Canadian MJ small cap names, just a whole another bunch like this. Anyways, have a great weekend. Thanks again.
Alright, so this is how much food I do. I do a scoop. That's about good. And then, watch it please, watch it please. Then you dump the shit out of their bowl because these leaves are poisonous when they're dead. They can't eat those. And then, stop it. This is really hard. Like a little pour. Like maybe a fifth and a fifth. And then 3/5 to Lyra. And then when she eats their food, she knows she's not supposed to. So she's pretty good about going to her spot. Go to your spot.